Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. Giving everyone just a second to get all logged on. And I'm gonna push this camera. Let me see if I can adjust this camera because I don't like my arms that much. Okay. Giving everyone a second to get all logged in so that we can get started. Today, we're talking about birthing justice, and it's from an African American experience. Hey, sister, from an African American experience, and we're just talking about the barriers. Hey, Shamika, with African American delivering or giving childbirth or dealing with other reproductive issues that no one takes as serious when it's an African American women. Hey Trail. So we're gonna be talking about that. A lot of us are mothers, but we want men to get involved as well so that you can also understand the trauma that can be caused on women from unhealthy pregnancies or an unhealthy support system. Oh, and I don't have a way. It should have been perspective, and that perspective I was typing fast trying to get on, but I will go back and correct that. So for the spell check, so we're gonna get ready to jump right on into it. I do want to give some birthday shout outs. First and foremost, I want to give a birthday shout out to my niece Jakia. She's the one, hey niece, hey nah. She's the one that gifted me with that beautiful tea time mug, personalized. And today she's celebrating her birthday. So we want to say happy birthday to Jakia. We also want to celebrate my niece Michaela, who will be celebrating her birthday on tomorrow. I know later in the month of June, we have a lot of Mouses that will be celebrating their birthdays. And on the 14th, Yari will be celebrating her second birthday. Hey, sis, tea time will be canceled on June 14th. Hey, brother. Oh, let's see who, okay. Tea time will be canceled on June 14th because we will be traveling. So just to give you advance notice, tea time will be canceled on Wednesday, June 14th. June 14th, which we know as is Flag Day, it's my grandma's birthday, who's no longer here with us. She passed when I was younger. So even though I spent a lot of time with her because we actually lived in a house with her most of my years growing up, but I lost her as an early child, so I didn't get that whole experience of having a grandma around as an adult. And it's also Benita's birthday. Benita Boo's birthday is also on June the 14th. Which she is the person who motivated me, and the reason is why I went forward with tea time in spite of me not having all the things that I wanted, the ram, the background, the decor, all those things. I just understood at that time that life doesn't wait on us to do anything. So if you're waiting on the moment or you're waiting on your turn, sometimes you have to make it your moment or make it your turn, and you have to do something to make that situation work. Know that battles and obstacles and things that may come in your way that kind of gets discouraging at times, please take this encouragement and press on, continue on, because it's very important. Because although it may seem like no one's rooting for you, there is someone, and there's someone in your corner. So I definitely wanted to say that. So June 14th is actually extra special to me. And those are some of the reasons why. So we'll be celebrating on June 14th. A lot of family is traveling with us. So we're looking forward to this, and to do some additional activities. So any more birthdays? If I missed any more birthdays, I know Karen's birthday is in June as well. But if I miss any more birthdays, I'm trying to think, is there anyone else? Chanel birthday is on the 5th, as well as the triplets. I know June has a lot of birthdays. June have a lot of birthdays. So we're just going, oh, Sanaya, definitely you ain't gonna let us forget you. So Sanaya's is the 9th. So we're just gonna focus for the ones that's right here around the corner. So let's say happy birthday to Chanel Michaela, and Jakia. So if you all could just drop a post telling each of them happy birthday. Continue to keep my sister Chanel, her son, her husband, and her family in prayer because it is a season. So we definitely want to keep them prayed up and encouraged through the season. So when you think about birth and justice. What comes to mind just when you hear that title, birthing justice? What comes to mind when you hear that? We're talking about birthing justice. So if any women is on now and want to tell me, or it could be a man, open for either or, who want to tell me what comes to mind when you talk about birthing justice, right? I don't know if you all have ever known this, but when my daughter delivered her daughter, I had no idea that you can serve Christus June the 9th. Definitely happy birthday, sister. That you can make sure that the hospital handle things for you and your baby a certain type of way. And that's why knowledge is so much power, right? Justice for women giving birth. Thank you, NL. And that's why knowledge is so powerful, right? Thank you, Latrell. Why knowledge is so powerful because I had no idea that you could serve a hospital with papers on how you want your delivery to go, far as letting them know that whatever state you in does not have jurisdiction over your child, what medication, on down to a lot of different things. And with me having children over 20 years ago, and me going through the experience with my daughter having her child was really different. How we got a lot of work to do, but we're still heading in the right direction because we have to take control over our body. And although we're talking about birthing justice on this topic today, know that it has a lot to do with either with us being sexually assaulted, for us struggling with trying to have children. The list goes on and on, how African American women are not taken seriously when we look into those different things. One of the reasons is African American women are somewhat displayed in society as angry, aggressive, where they see our other women in there, like for instance, Caucasian women, as being innocent, right? If she kills her husband, it automatically goes to what did he do to her, right? As opposed to if an African American woman kills her husband, it will be look more like she's so angry, she's so bitter. So the help that you give people is so important. Being an encouragement for that person when they're going through. We have to move the whole stigma of judging a sister because of the amount of children she had. Well, or how quickly she had a child. All my mom children are stair step, right? We're the closest and we're still here today. So not condoning one way or the other, but whatever that woman choose, we need to be more supportive of, right? More encouraging. Seeing what you can do, because a lot of times once someone has a baby and they're in that space where they want the baby all to itself, it kind of makes people kind of like push back. But sometimes you have to keep pushing, not being overly aggressive or overstepping your boundaries, but sometimes you have to let them know that, hey, this is a safe space, because it's not easy, especially for a new mom, to share her new baby with anyone, right? Sometimes they won't even let the dad just go take it on his own. Sometimes they won't let her own mom take it on its own. It's just that this is new. This is important. It's like a new car, like a new house. We really cherish it and we really hold on to that, right? So, as Nathaniel was saying, when it talks about right now, we're talking about justice for women giving birth. There shall always, 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 always be someone at the woman's side when she's giving birth. First and foremost, there should be a dedicated family member. And I want you all to hit like right here because that's some good stuff right there. Hit like right now. There should always be someone at that woman's side because she's making decisions. Her body's changing. Sometimes she's under medication. Blood pressure is elevating. With someone, no woman, regardless of what the situation is, Her child father may be deceased. He may be incarcerated. He may be overseas fighting war. He may just not be there. But we as a community, as a village, have to understand that we must embrace that mother. If that mother is your daughter, if that mother is your mother, if that mother is your sister, because we need more men presence, right? Because birth is a great thing, right? But we need more support. And although people are going to judge unconsciously, but right there and subconsciously, let me correct that right there for the girl get me. Subconsciously, we must understand, because Karen and Yanni will get you quick with those words. That's how I know how to say specific and always get that one right, right? But we have to be mindful that when we are giving birth, right? And men, you need to hear this, right? When we are giving birth, it is at a life and death stage, right? So the same way when you get that call when somebody has been shot and everybody's running to the hospital to see if he's going to make it, when someone is diagnosed with cancer and it goes into their final stage, and the urgency that's associated with that, that's the type of village we need surrounding us, because once we appear important to others, then other people will treat us important. But as long as they see us as slandering our own, with men not being able to respect their mother, let's start right there, right? Because we would think, oh, he don't respect his baby mother. No, we're gonna go a little deeper with the men not respecting their mom, because 9 times out of 10, men that have a healthy relationship with their mom, right, a very healthy relationship, supportive relationship with their mom, tends to always be connected to their child, right? And it has a lot to do with how they treat us as women. So if you know a man that does not have a relationship with his mom or is disrespectful to his mom, I'm giving you permission now to run now, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. Everyone's going to have some things where things shouldn't happen this way or things shouldn't happen that way. I'm talking about when they have a conversation with their mom, you can see the energy that's your cue to run. Because most guys, men who have a nice affectionate relationship with their mom, loving another woman is not foreign. So when you're taught to love your queen, you can see other women as a queen. But if your mom was never there, you live with auntie in the summer, grandma in the fall, the cousin on the father's side in the winter, it makes you unstable, and it does a lot to your relationship. So women, pick healthy men. It is not normal for men to just shut down. We don't want them cussing and fussing and all that and being abusive, but communication is very healthy, right? Very, very healthy. You will learn a lot about a person through their communication. So we talked about that, having someone present. In a lot of different cultures, when a baby's born, and like it's symbolic with even with baby Jesus being born, you brought gifts, right? So sometimes we shower it with baby shower, so we do it a little bit before the baby is born. But I've been to several baby showers where I've seen the mother have to do most of the work for the shower, right? So let's talk about making it normal that we are supporting. Not saying you got to babysit the baby for her, or not saying you have to be in agreement with her choice, because it's her productive system, right? So don't forget that, right? Do not forget that. That it is her choice. So before we make some of those choices and decisions, let's think about that. Let's talk about that and what does that mean? Because when you're healthy and you're in a good space, it makes a more healthier delivery. Nobody wants to be in a delivery room, although some people are there, when you're thinking about how your other children are going to eat, who's caring for your other children, where are you all going to live? Is the dad going to show up? Is the dad's family? No, those things are trauma. So we have to start looking at pregnancy delivery as a life or death situation. So if I can get tea time, if you have not already done so, to like the chat if you all are into supporting. And I am not saying take care of nobody kids, as many kids as they want, but I want us getting into the healthy mindset that if society see how we're taking care of women and their delivery stage, society would care a little bit more. Because if you're at the hospital by yourself and no one's there to stand up in your corner and tell them no to this or yes to that, and they're taking sole advantage of you, telling you when you can see your baby, how often your baby got to be right there. And that's another thing with delivery. A lot of hospitals now are a little different. Like when I had my children, I pretty much had to request that they came in the room with me. But now I've seen some hospital leaves the baby in the room with the mom. So imagine if no one's there to lend a hand or lend any type of support while she's still drowsy or overly medicated. We're just making sure that baby is safe and bonded. What are some other things? I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to ask you, what are some other things that you all noticed or may have experienced? You could be a man seeing it from the outside, or it could be a woman that actually went through it. What are some other things that you notice that hospitals will do to show that they're not really concerned about their African American woman delivering? And let me see this here. I want to go back to this article. Okay. So the article, and you all can chime in at any second. You all can make your comments or where you want to go at next with this. Just let me know. You know, tea time is always flexible with information and how it's given. Giving birth is a battleground for too many Black women and their babies. Why would giving birth be a battleground? Going behind the statistics, birthing justice places Black women at the center of the fight to fix a broken system for all women in this country. It focuses on the progress being made by those on the front line of this fight and to highlight solutions that can be I'm sorry, the can be produced in communities across the country. So this is basically talking about justice and making sure that African American women are treated the same way as other minority women. Have anyone ever experienced a situation that you feel was just biased based on your race? I know that I definitely experienced the biasness by my age when I had my first child. Have anyone else feel that it was something that should have been done or was done, and you feel that you were singled out as an African American woman giving birth to your child? Anyone, just chime in the chat. Remember, if you feel like your situation is too personal and you don't want your name attached to the statement, you can always text me at 202-758-8941. I really want to hear from you. Taking in consideration of the effects that the woman is feeling that can be similar to a serious complication. Very, very much so. Definitely the symptoms to a serious complication. And one of those things, believe it or not, is blood pressure, high blood pressure. And what is that about? Because it's not based on size. Some of the smallest women, blood pressure elevates when they're in their delivery stage, right? I know one thing that I experienced was doctors trying to do C-sections on African American women so that the delivery will be, what's the word I could use? The delivery could be more um controlled in a sense. So meaning that if I'm a doctor and I know sometimes they may work 12-hour shifts or more, and I just got on at 11, and let's just do a basic 8-hour shift. So if I'm getting on at 11, I want all these babies delivered by 3 so that I can have some downtime for the rest of the day. So I have definitely been a witness that they will try and make sure that the babies come when they want so that they can not have to worry about keep jumping back up for false alarms, right? So you're not God, and nor should you be able to control life. So therefore, you should not make that decision. Also, the payment increases for the doctors with C-sections. Definitely increases for the doctor, the hospital stay. And my thing is, when you're dealing with the stomach is a very sensitive place for me. And after you want me to have the C-section and get the most money out of me behind the C-section, you're ready to send me home. You're ready. So, African American women, let me tell you this: if you are not ready to be released, Do not allow them to release you. And I know that you don't have total control over it. They'll try to make up certain types of things, but let them know I'm in pain. I am in pain. And the one thing that will keep you in there long, if you want to stay, is I cannot use the bathroom. They are not supposed to release you. Now, I'm not telling you to hold it in. I'm just telling you don't let them know you went so that you can continue your stay. If you feel like you're not ready, whether mentally, physically, or whatever, do not let them release you from their hospital. I had a cesarean with Yanni, and they used to tell me to get up and walk every day. And every time the evening shift come on, I would tell them that I worked in the morning. And when the morning shift came on, I would tell them that I walked in the evening. But either way, it messed me up. Like I really had complications right before I was released that extended my stay. Also, while you're in the hospital, ask for things, right? Once you ate that meal, unless it's something where it's too salty or something like that, tell them you want more food. Make your stay a Marriott experience. Don't be in there whether you got Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Kaiser, Medicaid. Make the best experience of your stay. And that's why a family member needs to be at your side. So when a nurse roll their eyes, your aunt can roll her eyes, right? So make sure you're getting the best of your stay. I know that when I came out of the hospital with Yanni, I had everything. I'm talking about ginger rails. I had all their cookies, all their crackers. Every time they came and said, "Do you need?" I said, "Yes." And they'll be looking at me like, she already got for yes, yeah, because you're gonna bill Medicaid for it anyway. You're gonna bill my good Medicaid, my good DC Medicaid. Bring me some of those. Even when I left, I had all this milk for Yanni, the ready-made milk. I had all these Pampers because I'm here and it's going to be a Marriott stay. So the same way when I'm leaving the Marriott, I like to bring their soap, even though I don't use it, but I like to bring their shampoo and all that kind of stuff. I just like to put it in my bag, right? I want their pen, I want their tablet, everything that came with that room that I paid for. I want it all, right? So that's the experience that you should get when you're in the hospital, and you won't get it. So definitely don't want you being nasty to anyone. Definitely by no means. Not saying being nasty, but advocate for yourself. Cassidy heart rate was irregular, and they told me I wouldn't have that I would have to have a C-section. But when the doctor came to take me for the procedure, her heart rate went back to normal. And I am so glad, Sherelle, that they did not force the C-section anyway, because a lot of times, because they already prepped and prepared for the C-section, they want to go through with it, right? Now, a lot of us, our men, a lot of us are at age where, hey, look, I'm not having any more children. But if you have children, or either a close family member, you want to be involved. You want to be involved and exercise your rights. I had one with Nadir and was by myself. They put me to sleep. I woke up the next day. It if it wasn't for, if it wasn't for my sister saying how pale I was, I ended up needing 2 blood infusion. Fats cursed them out. That's what I mean about the village, right? That's what I mean, because you're not looking at yourself in the mirror. That is such an excellent point, Trail. You're not looking at yourself in the mirror. So sometimes you don't know what you need, right? And this is why nosy family members come in handy. I am nosy. If you want me to come up there, I will be on my way, right? I am nosy because I like to get involved. And I even experienced that outside of just delivery, but just experienced that with my brother being in a hospital and had someone try to deal with him. Even one day he was in the hospital, they told me that they ran out of food. Well, then I suggest y'all go down to Subways and buy him something to eat. How do you run out of food? Right? Because you ain't taking nothing off the insurance for you running out of food. So I need whoever's over that person to get down to the Subways and let him eat fresh and eat great. So it's so important. And that's why when your family member's in the hospital, I'm not saying go and sit all day like my brother Chucky did. Outstanding big brothership. But I'm talking about checking on them. If everybody in the family, how we like to talk about one another and be in each other's business, and we could just be in the business and stop past the hospital and peep in as they see the increase of people coming in and out and in and out, they will get it together because they know nosy, involved people are more likely to sue. And you all know I'm big on suing. Even if it doesn't get you money, it may get a change, right? Sometimes every lawsuit is not about money, but it is about change. I needed a blood transfusion as well. My anemia and blood pressure has gotten a little worse since I've had Cassie. Make sure you take care of that. I know Cassie is not at the 6 month mark, so a lot of postpartum and things like that can come behind that, as well as extended out. I am really glad to see one of the biggest, proudest moment for me with being a DC government employee is the fact that they have the PFL for moms and dads. So when mom goes back to work after being all 3 or 4 months, then dad can go. And by the time the grandmother and the nosy aunt get involved, you done had a village of people that has been able to raise the kids for the first year of their life. Stop telling people that they need a job. If your child is under one, I do not advocate for working. I do feel that we need to do better with planning so that we'll be in a better position because, a lot of times we have to plan. I remember when I was finalizing, Cassidy, I remember when I was finalizing. Yeah, Comcast is on. Okay, and DC government too. And I know most places in DC with the current mayor in office is making sure that if you have a certain number of people employed, that you are able to get your PFL. Dag, I lost my chain of thought real quick. Oh gosh, I lost my chain of thought. But I would like to say through teleworking with the COVID, which my first granddaughter was born, and she didn't have to go to daycare until she was actually 2. And Yari went to daycare about 1.5. So before that, they were all at home. Sherelle, Trail, Camille, Kiki, and myself, along with their parents, provided full-time child care where they did not have to go in anybody's daycare. And I truly, truly, truly call those names out. I hope I didn't miss anyone. But I thank God for that because imagine with everything else going on, having to get back to work and wondering who's going to hold on to your child. That's why villages are so important. So let me tell somebody listening to that. If you are a part of a family, that's a family, right? A part of a family, that's a family. I ain't talking about a part of the family of people that got blood, right? I'm talking about if you are a part of a family, that's a family, you ought to be thankful, right? Because a lot of us, because I always say when I was a kid, you'll hear me say that I couldn't wait till I got grown and got my own family. I could not wait. So if you've had that luxury to become grown and get your own family through what you're producing with your grandkids, your siblings, your great grandkids, and your children, or if you were able to marry into a family or have a child in a healthy family, take that and give thanks. Take that and give, because there's somewhere where you got some people who wouldn't let their children go anywhere with the father more like his mother, right? So know that when you're in a winning situation, all you have to do is grab the torch and keep running. Stop being mad. If you find yourself mad all the time before pregnancy, during pregnancy, after pregnancy, get some help. Don't you dare put and pull that on your child, right? Because that's part of the reason why they think that we as African Americans are so aggressive and so many different things and X, Y, and Z because of what they see from us, right? So if you have a child and it's no longer about you, do not find it robbery by getting yourself some help. Whatever happened in your life, whatever trauma you experienced, it's important, it's valid, but your child did not cause it. So please do not inflict that on them, what was given to you, because that's how generational curses repeats itself over and over again. I was traumatized. My mom didn't love me. My dad didn't come see me. So this is who I'm going to be. And that's male and female. Let's make a better, healthier choice and decision. Things that I went through with Pookie, by the time I had Yanni, I was in total control, from not having a place with him, not having a car, not being finished school. When Yanni came, I was able to increase. So measure it, even if it's small, but measure it and thank God for those in your circle that's giving you something. You be trying to be there and help, but sometimes your family be refusing to help when you need. And that's why that's so true, Trey. And that's why you have to create your own. And you are already created your own because you have children, beautiful children. Two of your children are walking across the stage in the same year. So that means that everything you instilled in them, they can extend in their children. And let's just say if your children had about two kids apiece, along with you and your children, there go a new family started right there. There go a new family started right there. Although I love my family, I have a group that I deal with sometime. I have a group that I deal with no time. And I have a group that I have a pleasure, like Latrell, that I deal with all the time, right? So please be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. So we're about to get ready to wrap up tea time. I do have the article if anyone wants more information. For the month of August, I am going to be looking for co-hosts. Some of the topics that we're going to be talking about, I'm looking for someone that is in a trade, whether you're doing plumbing, electricity. I'm looking for a topic in that area for some of us as homeowners or plan to be homeowners. I'm looking for someone that has a degree that can walk us through getting that degree, whether it's a master, doctrine, law degree. Then I'm looking for some people that came right out of high school or maybe out of college and went into that career where they're a police officer, where they are a firefighter, where they went into that field and they've grown into that field and it has been everything. I'm also looking for individual people that can talk about rags of riches, that can share some stories. So if you're not too shy or if you know someone, it can be someone that caters. I'm looking for people that has their own business, trying to get them out there. If you want to come on here and present some food, talk about your business, share your business card with Tea Time to help expand yourself. Whether you like to decorate or bake a few cakes, right? I want to hear from you all. I definitely want to go through that season of August and September where we're getting people on here to share their story, no matter how small it may be. It may be a couple that just wants to come on here and talk about how they went from dating to married, right? It's just so much that we have to talk about. If you think of something that you want me just to bring to you that you may not want to share, please do so as well. So, as always, and most importantly, I thank you all so much for sipping with me each and every Wednesday. A reminder again that we will be counseled on June the 14th. Tea Time will be counseled on that day, and we will resume back on the 21st. And happy birthday one more time to my niece Jackie today and my niece Michaela on tomorrow. And I see you all next week. Thank you.